Do you ever feel like you're stuck on that treadmill, running faster and faster but never actually getting ahead? You trade your most valuable resource, your time, for a wage that just about covers the bills, maybe with a little left over. But does that feel like real freedom? This is the reality for the vast majority of people who find themselves on the left side of a powerful financial model. But what if there was a map? What if there was a blueprint that explains why some people seem to get richer while others are stuck spinning their wheels? This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes. It's about a fundamental shift in how you think about money. By the end of this video, you won't just understand this blueprint. You'll have a clear, step-by-step path to move from financial struggle to financial freedom. Let's be honest. The traditional path we were all sold, go to school, get a good job, work for 40 years, is looking a little shaky. For our parents' generation, that might have been the formula for a stable life. But in today's economy, that stability feels more like an illusion. Job security isn't what it used to be. Pensions are a rare sight. And the moment you stop working, the money stops coming in. This is the active income trap, where you are the engine of your own wealth. If you get sick, if you get laid off, or if you just want to take a month off to see the world, your income hits a wall. This is the core problem of being on the left side of what author and entrepreneur Robert Kiyosaki calls the Cashflow Quadrant. And this isn't just a financial problem, it's a life problem. It means you're not fully in control. Your boss is. The economy is. You're constantly reacting instead of directing your own life. You work harder, maybe you get a raise, but then you get bumped into a higher tax bracket, and it feels like one step forward, 2 steps back. Employees and the self-employed, who make up the left side, often face high tax rates on their income with fewer of the legal deductions available to big business. It's a system that can feel like it's designed to keep you running in place. You own a job, or worse, your job owns you. This creates a constant, low-grade anxiety. It's that Sunday night dread, the fear of a market downturn, the quiet desperation of knowing your entire lifestyle depends on you showing up and trading your time for dollars. But what if there was another way? What if you could build something that pays you while you sleep? What if you could own the whole system that generates the income, not just a job within it? This isn't a fantasy. It's the reality for those on the right side of the cashflow quadrant. And moving there isn't about luck. It's about learning a new set of rules and, most importantly, adopting a completely new mindset. The map out of this trap is the cashflow quadrant. Popularized by Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Rich Dad's Cashflow Quadrant, this model is a brilliantly simple way to understand the different ways people make money. It's divided into 4 sections: E for employee, S for self-employed, B for business owner, and I for investor. The left side is home to the E's and S's. The E and S quadrants glow on the diagram. They run on active income. Their earnings are directly tied to the time and effort they put in. The right side is home to the B's and I's. Now the B and I quadrants glow. They run on passive and portfolio income, where their assets and systems are the ones working to make money, whether they're directly involved or not. Figuring out where you are now is the first step. Knowing where you want to go is the second. But the most important part is learning how to get from the left side to the right. This journey is less about changing your job and more about changing your mindset, your skills, and your whole perspective on money, risk, and wealth. Financial freedom isn't won by working harder in the wrong quadrant. It's built by strategically moving to the right one. So, let's break down each quadrant so you can see the full picture and find your path forward. Section 1. The E quadrant, the employee. As an employee, you have a job. The core value, the emotional driver for someone in the E quadrant, is security. You work for someone else's company, for their system, and in return for your time and skills, you get a predictable paycheck and maybe some benefits like health insurance. On the surface, it sounds like a decent deal. That steady income gives you a sense of safety. We see an animation of a calendar with paydays circled, with money icons appearing on those dates. You know that as long as you do your job, money will show up in your bank account on a regular schedule. This predictability lets you plan your life, get a mortgage, and make a budget. People in the E quadrant are everywhere. We see a montage of a teacher in a classroom, an engineer on a construction site, a corporate exec in a meeting, and a barista serving coffee. They can be making minimum wage or a six-figure salary. How much they make doesn't define their quadrant, it's how they make it. The mindset here is often, I'm looking for a safe, secure job with good pay and great benefits. When they look at a new opportunity, they're thinking about salary, vacation days, and how stable the company is. Their financial plan is usually centered on climbing the corporate ladder, gunning for that next promotion, that corner office, that yearly raise. But this supposed security is a double-edged sword. The biggest downside of the E quadrant is a total lack of control. Your income is capped by your role and your company's budget. To earn more, you have to convince someone else you deserve a raise or go find a new job. Your financial fate isn't really in your hands. If the company restructures, hits a rough patch, or just decides your role is redundant, that secure income can vanish overnight. You have no real leverage. On top of that, earned income, your salary, is one of the highest taxed forms of income. You get paid, the government takes its share right off the top, and you live on what's left. There are very few ways to legally lower your tax bill, unlike the people on the right side of the quadrant. This is why even high-earning employees feel like they're on a treadmill. As their income goes up, so do their taxes, making it tough to really get ahead. The emotional toll of the E quadrant can be draining. It's the feeling of being a cog in a machine, of your life being dictated by a 9-to-5 schedule, of having to ask permission to take a vacation. You're trading your life energy for money. When you stop trading, the money stops. That's the inescapable truth of the E quadrant. While it's a fine place to start, real financial freedom is almost impossible to reach if you stay here. The goal isn't to quit your job tomorrow, but to understand its limits and start building a bridge to the other side. Section 2. The S quadrant, the self-employed. This is the world of small business owners, freelancers, consultants, and highly paid professionals like doctors or lawyers who run their own show. The core value of the S quadrant is independence. The mindset here is, if you want it done right, do it yourself. They are the star of their own production. They don't want a boss, and they love having control over their work, their schedule, and their clients. They are often specialists and masters of their craft, and their income is a direct result of their personal skill and reputation. A graphic designer who starts freelancing, a plumber who goes solo, a real estate agent, or a YouTuber monetizing their channel, these are all classic S quadrant examples. The upside is obvious right away. You're your own boss. You have more control over your time, and your earning potential isn't stuck at a fixed salary. If you hustle harder, take on more clients, or raise your rates, you can directly make more money. It feels liberating after being an employee. But this is where the dangerous illusion of the S quadrant kicks in. You may have fired your boss, but you haven't really found freedom. In reality, you haven't bought a business, you've just bought yourself a job. And it's often a much more demanding job than the one you left. You are the system. If you stop working, the income stops instantly, just like in the E quadrant. In fact, the stakes are even higher. When an employee goes on vacation, they often get paid time off. When someone in the S quadrant takes a vacation, they are actively losing money. This leads to the biggest struggle of the S quadrant, burnout. Because their income is tied directly to their personal effort, the most successful people here are often the most overworked. They're the chief cook and bottle washer, handling sales, marketing, delivery, accounting, everything. They become handcuffed to their own business. The very independence they wanted becomes a golden cage. They can't step away without the whole thing grinding to a halt. And scaling up is incredibly hard. You only have so many hours in a day. You can only serve so many clients or write so much code. Your income is capped by your personal capacity. And just like employees, people in the S quadrant face high tax rates on their hard-earned income. The mindset shift needed to escape the S quadrant is to stop thinking of yourself as a doer and start thinking about how to build a system. The difference between an S and a B is that an S owns a job, while a B owns a system that runs without them. A freelance web developer who codes every site herself is an S. A person who starts a web agency, hires other developers, and focuses on managing the system of finding clients and delivering projects is on her way to becoming a B. Moving from S to B is one of the toughest but most rewarding steps on the path to financial freedom. It means letting go of that do-it-yourself mentality and learning to lead, delegate, and build systems. Section 3. The B Quadrant, the business owner. Welcome to the right side of the quadrant. The B Quadrant, for business owner, represents a huge leap in financial thinking. The core value here isn't just independence, it's wealth creation through leverage. Unlike an S, who owns a job, B owns a system and then hires talented people to run that system. The true test of a B Quadrant business is that it can run and make a profit even when the owner isn't there. Robert Kiyosaki's benchmark is this: if you can leave your business for a year and come back to find it's more profitable than when you left, you have a true B Quadrant business. That's the essence of passive income from a business. Think of the founder of a fast food franchise. They aren't flipping the burgers. They created and own a repeatable, scalable system that other people operate. Think of tech founders like Bill Gates. He didn't personally write every line of code for Windows. He built a team and a system to create and sell software on a massive scale. The goal of a B is to work on the business, improving systems, setting strategy, not in the business, doing the day-to-day work. The mindset of a business owner is completely different from an E or S. While an S is proud of being the smartest person in their business, B actively looks for people who are smarter and more skilled than they are in specific areas. They understand the power of leverage, using other people's time, OPT, and other people's money, OPM, to grow to a scale that would be impossible alone. They are leaders and system builders, not just expert doers. The advantages here are huge. First, scalability is practically unlimited. Because the business doesn't depend on the owner's time, it can grow exponentially. You can add more employees, open more locations, or sell to more customers without hitting that personal ceiling that limits an S. Second, and this is a big one, the tax laws are generally structured to favor business owners. This simple switch opens up massive opportunities for legal tax reduction, letting them keep more of their money to reinvest in growing the system. Of course, building a B Quadrant business isn't easy. It involves risk, leadership skills, and knowing how to create and document processes that other people can follow. There are 3 main ways to get into the B Quadrant. Build a business from scratch. This is the toughest path but gives you the most creative control as you develop your own systems. Buy a franchise or an existing business. This means you're buying a pre-built, proven system. It can be less risky but usually requires a lot of capital up front. Join a network marketing company. This lets you plug into an existing business system and learn B Quadrant skills with a lower barrier to entry. Moving into the B Quadrant is about shifting from a doer to a delegator, from a specialist to a leader, and from working for money to building a system that makes money for you. It's the primary engine that fuels the final and most passive quadrant of all. Section 4. The I Quadrant, the investor. This is where wealth isn't just created, it's multiplied. The core value for the investor is financial freedom itself. In the I Quadrant, you don't work for money, and you don't manage a system of people working for you. Here, your money works for you. An investor makes money by putting their capital into assets that produce more money. This is the definition of truly passive income. Investors make money from things like the stocks, bonds, real estate, private equity, providing capital to B Quadrant entrepreneurs in exchange for a piece of their business stock. The I Quadrant is where money is completely separated from your time. Your income comes from how well your assets perform. This is where the magic of compound growth kicks in, as the returns from your investments get reinvested to generate even more returns, creating an exponential curve of wealth. The investor's mindset is all about financial intelligence and managing risk. They are masters of the numbers. They understand financial statements, market trends, and how to figure out an asset's potential for cash flow and growth. They think in terms of ROI, return on investment, and are skilled at using debt as a tool to acquire more assets, a concept that often terrifies people on the left side of the quadrant. It's really important to know the difference between a true investor and a speculator. A speculator is basically gambling on price swings, often without really understanding the asset's true value. An investor makes calculated decisions based on deep financial education and analysis. They are buying future cash flow. The I quadrant offers the most freedom and often the most favorable tax treatment. Income from long-term investments, like capital gains and certain dividends, is often taxed at a lower rate than the income you earn from a job. So, how do you get here? Foremost, the I quadrant is funded by the profits made in the B quadrant. A successful business owner takes the profits from their company and puts that capital into investment assets, like stocks or real estate. This creates a powerful wealth-building machine. But it's absolutely possible and a great idea to start investing while you're still in E or S. You can start by putting a portion of your salary into a low-cost index fund or saving up to buy your first rental property. This helps you build the habits and mindset of an investor early on. You can be an employee and an investor, E plus I, at the same time. The ultimate goal is to have enough passive income from your I quadrant investments to cover all your living expenses. The moment your passive income is greater than your expenses, you've reached true financial freedom. You no longer have to work for money. You can choose to work if you want, but you don't have to. Your assets are now taking care of you. This is the final destination on the map laid out by the Cashflow Quadrant. Section 5. The path to the right side. Knowing the 4 quadrants is one thing. Actually moving from the left side to the right is the real game. It's a journey that takes a plan, a new way of thinking, and consistent action. Here's a step-by-step path to guide your move from employee or self-employed to business owner and investor. Step 1. Build your financial launchpad. Before you can build a rocket ship, you need a solid launchpad. You can't effectively move to the right side if you're in a state of financial chaos. That means getting your personal finances in order while you're still in the E or S quadrant. To get a handle on your cash flow, first, track your money. Know what's coming in and what's going out. Use a budgeting app or a simple spreadsheet. You have to know where your money is going before you can tell it where to go. Build your safety net. Save up at least 3 to 6 months' worth of essential living expenses. Put it in a high-yield savings account where you can get to it. This emergency fund is what gives you the courage to take smart risks, because a stumble won't mean total disaster. Destroy high-interest debt. Get aggressive with paying down consumer debt like credit cards. That debt is an anchor, and the interest payments are actively making you poorer. Step 2. Change your mindset and your inner circle. The biggest wall between the quadrants isn't financial, it's mental. The values of security and doing everything yourself, are wired into us. You have to consciously adopt the mindset of the B and I quadrants. To become a student of wealth, the language of the right side is the language of business and investing. Read books, starting with the Rich Dad series, listen to podcasts, watch videos like this, and learn about sales, marketing, leadership, and investing. To get comfortable with being uncomfortable, start seeing failure not as the end, but as a mandatory learning experience. Launch it messy, learn fast, and make it better. To upgrade your environment. It's said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle is full of people who only ever complain about their jobs and taxes, it's going to be hard to think like a B or an I. Find mentors, join business groups, and go to networking events. Surround yourself with people who are already playing the game you want to win. Step 3. Start something on the side. You don't have to dramatically quit your job tomorrow. The smartest way to start is with a side hustle. This lets you test your ideas, learn new skills, and make some extra money without giving up the security of your paycheck. Find a problem you can solve. Don't just follow a passion, find a profitable problem. What are people struggling with that you can offer a solution for? Start small and prove the concept. Create a basic version of your product or service. Don't spend a year building something perfect. Launch a simple version and see if anyone will actually pay for it. Your first goal isn't profit, it's learning and validation. Learn to sell. This is the skill that separates successful entrepreneurs from everyone else. Learn how to market what you do and how to close a deal. This is a non-negotiable B quadrant skill. Step 4. Systematize everything. Once your side hustle has some momentum and is making consistent income, you're in the S quadrant. The critical next step is to deliberately build systems so you can move into the B quadrant. The goal is to make the business run without you. Document your processes. For every task you do more than once, from finding a new client to delivering your service, create a standard operating procedure, SOP. A system is just a process you can repeat. Delegate and hire. Your first hire doesn't need to be a full-time employee. Start by handing off small, time-sucking tasks to a virtual assistant or freelancer. Your goal is to buy back your time so you can focus on the big-picture activities that grow the business. Automate with technology. Today, technology is your best friend for building systems. This is where AI can be a game changer. These tools let you build powerful systems for a fraction of what it used to cost, speeding up your move from S to B. Step 5. Scale to B and bridge to I. With your systems and team in place, you're now operating in the B quadrant. The focus shifts to scaling the business and using the profits to build your I quadrant portfolio. Reinvest for growth. Pour the cash flow from your business back into improving your systems, hiring more talent, and expanding your marketing. Pay yourself first to invest. Set up an automatic transfer to move a percentage of your business profits into a separate investment account. Don't even think about it. Start investing passively. You don't need to be a stock-picking genius. Start simply by investing in broad market index funds or ETFs. As your money and knowledge grow, you can explore other things like real estate. The goal is to use the active income from your business to buy passive income-generating assets. This 5-step process isn't a race, it's a marathon. It's a gradual but deliberate journey of changing your financial identity. By following this path, you move from being dependent to being in control, building a future where your wealth isn't tied to your time, and financial freedom becomes your new reality. If this breakdown has opened your eyes and you're ready to start your journey from the left side to the right, make sure you subscribe to Wealth Saga and turn on notifications. We drop new videos every week with practical, no-fluff advice on building businesses, investing for passive income, and mastering the mindset of wealth. And I've got a question for you. Looking at your life right now, which quadrant are you in? And more importantly, which quadrant are you shooting for? Drop a comment below. It's awesome to read your goals, and it helps create a community of people all on the same path. Today, we pulled back the curtain on the basic structure of how money is made. The cash flow quadrant, employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor, is more than just a theory, it's a map. It shows you the path from trading your time for money to having your money work for you. We've seen that the left side, the E and S quadrants, is a world of active income, higher taxes, and limited control. It's the path of job security, but it's a path that rarely leads to true freedom. The right side, the B and I quadrants, is the world of passive income, leverage, and scalable wealth. It's where you own systems and assets that make money around the clock, whether you're working or not. The journey from left to right isn't some secret reserved for a chosen few. It's a real path that starts with getting your finances in order, demands a huge shift in your mindset, and is built step by starting small, creating systems, and intelligently investing the profits. It's a journey from thinking, I need a job, to, I build systems, and finally to, my assets take care of me. You are in control. You have the power to choose your quadrant. It won't happen overnight, but by educating yourself, taking smart risks, and consistently applying these principles, you can design a life of financial freedom. You can build a future where your time is truly your own. The path is clear. The choice is yours.